Hi there, my name is Andrew Brown, and welcome to Carboxylic acid derivatives reaction principles. This video will help you build an understanding of what makes a given carboxylic acid derivative more or less reactive. We will cover electronic effects like induction and conjugation before moving on to sterics and ring strain, all the while comparing the molecular elements that influence relative reactivity. After watching this video, you should be able to answer questions like this one, which asks you to identify the acyl compound most susceptible to nucleophilic attack. We begin our survey of carboxylic acid reactivity with a couple of the electronic effects that make them either more or less susceptible to attack. The first is the inductive effect. In the generic ester pictured here, adding a few halides such as fluorine, alpha to the carbonyl, increases the ester's reactivity. The addition of highly electronegative halides exacerbates the separation of charge at the carbonyl by drawing electron density away from the carbonyl carbon. Remember, the propensity to attract electrons within a bond toward one pole is what is meant by electronegativity. If we look at another example molecule, the acid halide, it is particularly reactive because the chlorine atom is strongly inductive in character and is also a good leaving group. The second electronic effect we will define is conjugation. In the ester shown here, the chain of alternating single and double bonds allows the unhybridized p orbital electrons to interact. This means that when electrons are added to or removed from the molecule, it can be stabilized by resonance. The capacity for resonance stabilization makes the carbonyl more electrophilic and thus more susceptible to nucleophilic attack. Now that we have seen a couple of ways in which a molecule's electron density can be manipulated, we can begin to rank acyl compounds in terms of their tendency to react. Anhydrides, which contain 3 electron-withdrawing substituents, are well stabilized by resonance and thus highly reactive. Carboxylic acids and esters, with their 2 electron-withdrawing substituents, are slightly less reactive. And amides, with their electron-donating amino group, are therefore even less reactive. By simply tallying the number of electron-withdrawing versus electron-donating functional groups, we can predict a molecule's reactivity. In addition to the relative electron density of the parent compound, the size and degree of substitution of the leaving group will also play into the molecule's reactivity. Take, for example, an amide. The primary amine substituent is quite small, and so the degree to which it blocks access to the carbonyl carbon is almost negligible. For a secondary amine substituent, the added methyl group introduces a bit more steric hindrance and thus reduces the carbonyl's reactivity. And as you could have predicted, the least reactive amide contains the tertiary amine, whose 2 methyl groups present even more steric hindrance, making interaction between the carbonyl and an attacking nucleophile even more difficult. Just as we showed with the number of electron-withdrawing and donating functional groups, acyl compounds' reactivity can be predicted based on the degree of steric hindrance in the leaving group. Okay, the last factor affecting acyl compounds' reactivity, of which you should be aware, is ring strain. Cyclic esters and amides, which the MCAT will expect you to know also as lactones and lactams, respectively, are slightly more reactive than their non-cyclic counterparts. Ring strain in these compounds means that their stability will be increased by processes that open the ring. When the carbonyl carbon in a compound such as gamma-butyrolactone is attacked by the nucleophile, that's exactly what happens. In this example, hydrolysis of the ester forces the yellow oxygen leaving group to dissociate, which in turn produces the straight-chain carboxylic acid. This reaction should be familiar from biochemistry, either in the production of GABA from the GBL lactone, or in the mechanism of action for beta-lactams, the class that contains penicillin. Beta-lactams possess 2 adjacent ring structures, which, in combination, introduce a ton of ring strain. Okay, that's it for the material review portion of this video. Now, apply what you've learned on this sample question. You're being asked to predict the compound that will be most susceptible to nucleophilic attack by sodium ethoxide. The answer should be D. Notice that choices B and D contain 3 electron-withdrawing atoms. Only D, however, also has an acid halide functional group, which will function quite nicely as a leaving group. Therefore, answer choice D will be the most reactive. If you got that question right, congratulations. If not, please feel free to go back and watch this video again as many times as you need. Before we finish, let's quickly review what this video covered. In terms of electronics, we said that acid halides should be the most reactive acyl compounds due to the inductive effect of oxygen and the halide, and because halides make such good leaving groups. We saw that an acyl compound's reactivity could be quantified based on the number of inductive groups present. Conjugation was shown to affect reactivity similarly, with longer conjugation systems making nucleophilic attack easier. We compared the relative reactivity of anhydrides, carboxylic acids and esters, and amides, which was based almost entirely on the number of electron withdrawing versus electron donating substituents. We looked at the influence of steric hindrance in the leaving group on the parent compound's reactivity, and we finished up with ring strain in lactones and lactams, which are converted into their acyclic forms through nucleophilic substitution. We also saw a special example of a lactam, penicillin, in which the lactam ring has an important antibiotic role. Thanks very much for watching, and good luck in your continued MCAT study.